In the beginning, there was only wind, not the wind of other worlds, not the kind that passes in and out. The wind of Ile Ife was alive. It remembered every canyon wall it had ever touched, every route it had ever bent, every people it had ever tested. And in the deep canyons below, a people had learned to listen. They did not build cities reaching upward. They built downward, into the stone, into the earth, into the memory of the canyon itself. Their crops grew in terraces carved by 10 generations of hands, fed by wind channels their grandmothers had mapped before any of them were born. They did not fight the wind, they fed from it. This was not survival. This was mastery. Iya was their matriarch. Young by the measure of those who had come before her, but the canyon did not measure age. It measured knowing, and Iya knew. She had read these walls since she could walk. She had felt the wind shift before the shift arrived. She had memorized every passage, every chamber, every place where the canyon held its breath before it exhaled. Her people did not choose her because she was the strongest. They chose her because she was the most awake. For generations, her people had read this canyon the way others read the sky. They were not surviving, they were living fully, deliberately, in communion with a world that asked only one thing of them: pay attention. What was given to her was older than memory, a stone, small enough to hold in one hand, heavy enough to feel like the whole canyon. The elders said it was a key. They did not say what it opened. They only said, when the time comes, you will know. And the canyon held its breath. Then the corporation came. They did not arrive quietly. They arrived the way power always arrives, certain of its own welcome. Massive ships descended through the atmosphere like slow thunder, blocking a narrow ribbon of sky above the canyon. They carried machines and maps and a man, Commander Ota. He stood at the canyon rim and looked down the way men who have decided they would take everything look. He had given a simple directive: fill the canyon, pave it over, erase everything inside it. Beneath the canyon floor, the corporation's instrument had found something worthy more than any crop, any people, any memory. And so, the calculation was made. The canyon would become a mine, the people a problem to be relocated. They began pouring concrete before the first negotiation ended. Gray slurry cascading down the canyon walls like a slow erasure, filling the wind channels first, then the lower terraces, then the roots. Iya watched from above. She did not run. She did not weep. She watched, and she calculated. Because Iya had been listening to the wind her whole life, and the canyon had secrets no corporation's map could find, the instrument had found what was below, but they had not found what moved through. She called a council that night. Every woman, every elder who could still stand, and something unexpected. Among them sat the assimilated scouts, green-skinned, bald, small in stature. They had come as cooperation eyes, but they had been living in the canyon long enough to hear it. And what the canyon says to those who listen cannot be unheard. They did not need to be asked twice. One plan, one night, every woman in, even those who had come as enemies, chose to stay as kin. Iya spent the hours before dawn alone at the windstone. She traced the canyon's carved channels with her fingers, the way her grandmother had shown her. Every passage, every funnel, every amplification point where the wind becomes something else entirely. She understood now what the stone was for. It was not a key to a door. It was a key to the canyon itself. The corporation came in full force at dawn, certain of victory, certain the night had changed nothing. They brought their machines, their soldiers, their concrete. They were not ready for what charged back. The clan descended from every wall, from passages the corporation maps had marked as impassable, from ledges too narrow to exist on any instrument reading, white robes, in the gray dawn, moving like the canyon itself had come alive. Iya closed her eyes, one breath. She felt the wind gather, the way she had felt it gather 1,000 times before. Then she opened them and pressed. The canyon remembered. Every channel, every funnel, every amplification point. The wind did not blow, it detonated. A wall of force so complete that the corporation's machines were lifted from the ground, soldiers thrown backward like paper against a storm. The concrete, still wet, still gray, stripped from the canyon walls as if the stone itself was reclaiming its own skin. And through the center of it all, yeah, still, eyes open, robes pressed flat against her body by the force she had released, watching. When the dust settled, the canyon was still there. Every root, every crop, every wind channel her grandmother had carved, every wall. The corporation's machines lay broken at the canyon floor. Commander Ota was gone before the last echo faded. The clan did not celebrate loudly. They returned to the terraces. They checked the roofs. They read the wind. The assimilated scouts, those small green men who had chosen a different side, worked alongside them quietly, as if they had always been there. Perhaps in the way that mattered, they had. Iya stood at the canyon rim as the sun climbed fully above the stone. She held the small, heavy key in her hand. She did not put it away. She pressed it once against her chest, felt its weight, its age, its patience. And then she looked out across the canyon. Her people had held. The wind moved through it exactly as it always had, unhurried, certain, alive. Some things cannot be erased, not by machines, not by maps, not by men certain of their own welcome. Some things are older than the decision to destroy them. Yeah, the canyon remembers.